So, this is the second part I was talking about, where it's joint between the Common Flock and the Golden Dome. If you're on the Golden Dome, this is the beginning of the podcast. Hi, hello. If you're on the Common Flock, this is the second part. At the end of this, I'll say goodbye to the Common Flock, and if you're on the Golden Dome, we'll just continue after. But college football's back in video game form. Finally, let's go. But it's in development right now, early stages, so it won't be out for at least a good 2 years. Not 2 years, at least a year. Keyword at least, like at the very least. So, it'll be interesting. It does not have the NCAA license, which it depends on how the NIL vote goes, which is the license to get it. I don't know when the voting is, I don't know much on the voting, but if it goes well, because I know it's going through votes from the government. If it goes good and it gets voted yes, EA is going to have to get the rights. If it doesn't go through, well, we're going to have a generic football game. And either way, you got to do a lot of what you've already done. They're going to set up a base game, they're going to create code. If they do it through Frostbite, this game may already be screwed, or at least partially. Because Frostbite, it sucks, it's going to be horrible gameplay, then at least the management part or the Dynasty part should be good. In Dynasty, you've still got to have transfers, you've got to have a good recruiting system, you've got to have create a school or team builder back, because it's going to be generic for the first year, unless the license gets through and they can get everybody in by that first year. Rosters are going to be more sporadic and weird, and teams are going to be generic, which I've heard, which they should have a lot of customization there because of that, hopefully. And some of the former NCAA employees I've heard rumored are working on it. So if that is true, that should be great. There's a lot of hype around this game, but they've got to do it right. Like I said, transfers, they've got to have good... it can't be on the Frostbite engine. If it is, you've got to do it as best you can. No metas. Can't have meadows, or else people are going to get annoyed. Can't pump into Ultimate Team's money and stuff. You've got to have redshirting, which I guarantee they'll have. Got to have somewhat of a similar recruiting cycle to 14, because that's a lot of people want that. Got to have those team comparisons like they had with the bars. That was cool to see. If somebody had a better team. And I guarantee there's a lot more. I want to see a bit more gear. Like, there was not a lot of gear back in the other NCAA. Mouthpieces. Yes. Mouthpieces. Things they also gotta I'd like to see decommitting, but it depends on how they do that. And I don't know if they do that. Medical red shirts. It'd be nice to have that. It'd be nice to have... a very in-depth recruiting system. And there's a lot more that goes into that game that we'll just have to wait for. And like I said, they're probably going to build it from scratch, so it's going to take at least a year. And if EA is as dedicated as they say, I can't wait. I'm going to create a channel either today or tomorrow, today's 4th. And going to talk gaming over there. NCAA, Madden, some 2K, probably not a lot, and some Call of Duty over on that channel, but for now, we're over here doing the podcast. And that doesn't mean production is going to slow down here. It might mean it ramps up, actually. I want to talk a bit more on Wentz and his situation, Sirianni and his staff, and more dedicated videos to that, which I want to get done soon. And I also want to start streaming a little bit more, which I should be able to start doing soon. And I'm looking to get capture card and an HDMI splitter, so I can run my 360 and my Xbox Original to my computer and through a capture card so I can play NCAA 14. I got NCAA 09, Madden 09. I'm building my collection right now of games so I can play. I've also got the original head coach, Madden 07 and Madden 05, which I'd love to play some Madden 07 on for a video, do a series through that. And 09, because 09 had injury rehab and stuff. And it had an interesting scouting system. I mean, it wasn't the greatest scouting system, but it worked for the time. And I'd love to play on NCAA 14 and start a Notre Dame. I've got 3 series I want to start doing if I can get a capture card and everything. And a splitter was Notre Dame, North Texas, and Northern Illinois, and then a dynasty. That's what I'm looking at right now. But that's only because I've dynastied with those teams before, and I like them, especially building someone like North Texas up. And I like connecting with the players and everything. But it's coming back. It's all going to depend on the NIL voting and everything, and states wanting to pay players, and I don't think they're going to. Some states are just not going to do it. So I don't know if you're going to be able to get NCAA football back within the next 5 years. It's possible, but I don't see it being an NCAA title for a while until they can either convince people or they start just, or they find a way. I don't think they're going to find a way, but you never know. It's EA. And I also find it a weird correlation that they now have to compete in Star Wars. They have to compete somewhere else. They're all of a sudden opening up NCAA or college football. What is going on? I've never seen this happen. So much gaming news and everything's come out. And this college football news could be some of the biggest news we've seen in a while. But it'll be interesting to see how this goes. I'm going to keep up with info and relay that info, because it'll be interesting. I want to hear a lot about it. They said they can't wait to work with the community in the coming months or coming time and development, which it'll be left to see if this is actually what EA says, because EA doesn't have a great record when it comes to this stuff. And also, I'm wondering who they put on the cover. That's going to be very interesting. But it'd be nice if, since they just rebooted that, they could reboot something like College Hoops, NFL Street, NBA Street, 2K Football. No, if something like that got revived. College Hoops was a good series. NFL Street was cool. Or NBA Street was cool. 2K, ESPN 2K Football was a great game. Very physics-based. That could really be done well today, and people would buy it. MVP Baseball, there's multiple franchises that'd be like, well, can we get those next? But it'll be interesting, and I'll definitely keep up with info, and I honestly can't wait. It could be too good to be true, who knows. Road to Glory is probably going to be in there. It'll be nice to see Road to Glory. It'll be interesting to see if they pitch, or if they'd pick pitch or point-based recruiting. It'd be nice. They're probably not going to stick on the Infinity engine. I wish they'd create a new engine just for football and put Madden and NCAA on that. Or not NCAA. I keep calling it NCAA. College football on that. The likelihood of them doing that, very low, just because it's EA. I'd love to see it run on Infinity, but it's not going to. I've never really seen stuff like this happen, so it'll be interesting what they do. I'd love to see coaching staffs, like coordinators, again. I'd love to see a coaching tree. It'll be interesting to see what they do with conferences, too. I'd love to see generic conferences and generic teams and see, this is a loaded conference that's got multiple top 25 teams, and this is a conference that they're the bottom of the bottom. Let's say you had 10 conferences and you had your Power 5 kind of conferences and your Lower 5. That'd be interesting to see what they do with that, too, because I just thought of that. But it definitely all depends on what EA does and if EA listens to the community. But you never know with EA. It's, like I said, it's EA. They should literally copyright screwing over game franchises, because that's what they do. But it'd be interesting. Is this the end of the Common Flock? If you're on the Golden Dome, we're going to keep going. This isn't the end. If you're on the Common Flock, this is the end of the podcast. Alright, we're finally back. This is the Common Flock episode 1. I know, or not the Common Flock, the Golden Dome episode 1. I know I did the beginning part to this as a dual thing, but I just really want to say welcome to the first episode. Finally glad to get this out. Coming out with this should be the Golden Dome Twitter, which I can't wait to get that out, because I've been planning on it for a while. And I've been planning on doing this for a while. It's just that stuff hasn't lined up. And I've been very unlucky with timing and things. But now, it lines up. It's Friday the 5th. I'm recording this the day after the beginning part and the day before. That's because my Common Flock video didn't get to go through last night. So I had to do it this morning. Well, not this morning. Later today. And it finally came out. I tweeted about it on both the Common Flock and my personal Twitter. Go check those out. Link for my Twitter will be in the description, like it always is. And the Golden Dome Twitter will be in the description if I can get it up in time before the video gets up, which I should. So, got a lot to talk about. Not going to do mocks this time. I've already kind of gone over, on my Twitter, I've kind of gone over where I think the guys are going to go. I want to go over that in the future when it gets closer to the Combine. Same with mocks. I want to wait till it gets closer to the Combine after free agency. But anyway, we have a new defensive coordinator in Marcus Freeman, and I've heard a lot of good things about him. Not only as a defensive coordinator, but a recruiter. And from what I've heard, he's done well. And there's reason to believe that he is doing well. And you like to see that as a new guy coming in doing well with not only recruiting, but getting to know the team and hearing a bit of that praise. It's nice to see him settling in so well. You don't usually see a guy settle in like this. It happens, but Notre Dame's old defensive coordinator, Clark Lee, left to go to Vanderbilt, his alma mater. Sucks to see him go after 3 years, but I get why he left. I definitely get why he left. It's his alma mater. He gets the head coach. He gets to build up a program. I get it. I really do. I don't blame him for leaving. If I had a chance to get a head coaching job at my alma mater and I was only a coordinator where I was, even though I love the guys I coached and everything, I would take the chance depending on what happens. But anyways, Notre Dame promotes Chris O'Leary, which is the most Fighting Irish name ever, to safeties coach. It was a from-within hire, which I kind of expected to a point. I mean, who are you really going to bring in from the outside? Then again, Marcus Freeman was an outside hire from Cincy. But O'Leary is going to be your safeties coach. He is a 2015 Indiana State graduate, and has been on the coaching staff of Notre Dame since 18 when he was a defensive analyst. He was the senior football analyst in 2019 and defensive graduate assistant in 2020. So he's been jumping up, and he worked with the Rovers, including Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, who not only was a unanimous All-American, or unanimous All-American, unanimous, whatever. I can't read, and there's a pop-up blocking that, so not my fault. And he was also a Butkus Award winner. And it looks kind of good because he's been promoted so fast, but it's a double-edged sword. There could be unforeseen side effects to this, but former safeties coach Terry Joseph left to go coach in Texas. He's a secondary coach. And looking at Freeman for a second. Let me read this. O'Leary was picked over Kerry Cooks, the Irish defensive analyst, who coached corners in 10 to 14 before a stint in Oklahoma from 15 to 18 and Texas Tech in 2019. So that means that there may be, if something were to happen, I think we know who would come up next for a job in that secondary too. But it's interesting to see. I can't wait to see how this goes. And I'm glad to see someone with such an Irish name get the position. It's going to be a long time with jokes about this. Jafar Armstrong transferred out of Notre Dame. Houston Griffith entered his name in the transfer portal but ended up staying. Who else transferred? Hold on. Because Jafar was a... What's it called? He was a grad transfer. He was moved to wide receiver during the middle of the season and sat behind the resurgence, or the rise of Kyron Williams and Chris Tyree, which that is now a strong running back position. And you've got two new commits coming in that look very good. But anyways, looking at the transfers, this was last updated 2/3. This is last season. Oh, great. I want 2021. Okay, there we go. No, really? We're doing this again? Alright, hold on one sec. This is throwing a fit right now. I'm trying to pull up the 2021 transfer portal. Because I know I'm missing somebody. Yeah, this is going to be a pain, isn't it? Yeah, this isn't liking me right now, so I'll get it to pull up, though. Anyways, but I know I'm missing somebody. And I'm not sure about Oh, Jack Cohen transferred in at quarterback. Yeah, Jafar transferred as a wide receiver. Jameer Smith transferred out to... Is that Akron? Nope, that's Appalachian State. My bad. I thought it was Akron. I don't know why. Looking back, I shouldn't have. Jafar went to Illinois. Colin Grunhard went offensive lineman, specifically center, went to Kansas. John Olmsted transferred from Notre Dame to Lafayette, offensive tackle. Jamoyne Franklin transferred from Notre Dame to Duke, defensive tackle. Defensive end Kofi Wardlow went to Charlotte. Linebacker Jack Lamb went to Colorado. Alvi Oghufo went to Texas. Houston Griffith stayed in safety. Isaiah Rutherford went to Arizona. Isaiah Robertson is still looking for a home somewhere on a team. Jordan Genmar Keith went to UCLA. Rutherford, Robertson, and Glenmark Heath are all going to be immediate eligibilities. Same thing with Wardlow. And Cohen coming into Notre Dame. That's not some huge losses, but there's a couple decent ones. Jafar brought experience. Jahir was a backup. I'm not sure a lot on the other guys. We definitely needed the depth at D-line, especially losing who Notre Dame did at edge with and linebacker with Oghufo leaving, but that's just how it is, and the recruiting class should bring something into Notre Dame. No other transfers in besides Jack Cohen and Houston Griffith staying. I'm wondering what happens. I'm really wondering who comes in, if somebody comes in. And if Cohen comes in, I'm wondering what he's going to be able to do. Because that'll be something interesting. It's going to be a what can Cohen do with the weapons that are there, especially that good running attack. I haven't seen a lot on Cohen. I haven't seen tape. I really don't have much of a way to find tape, but I guarantee I can find something on him. So I definitely have to look out for that. But looking at... Now I need to go to the Notre Dame recruiting class. Most of their recruiting class, if not almost all of it, has signed their NILs. Or NLIs, not NILs. See, I've dealt too much with college football recently where I'm so used to saying NLIs. Right now, we have 14 enrollees. Blake Fisher, offensive tackle. Rico Splindler, offensive guard. I've heard a lot of good about these two. Blake Fisher is a 4-star tackle. He is 54th in national, 8th in the position ranking. 6'5", 336. Spindler, 4-star, 59th in the nation, 3rd at the position, 6'4", 315. Tyler Buckner. He is, what are you? Dual. I don't even... It doesn't specify to me what he is. Okay. I'm not sure what dual means, but 6'2", 205, 4-star, and he is enrolled. Lorenzo Styles Jr., receiver. They need the help there. 4-star, already enrolled. National, he was 115th position. He was 20th. Also, let me just note, Buckner was 70th in the nation, 3rd at the position. Gabriel Rubio, defensive tackle, 6'5", 305, 117th in the nation, 9th at the position. Kane Barong, 4-star, tight end, 6'4", 230, 220. National, he was 227th, 9th at the position. It's nice that they have tight end depth coming in. Philip Riley, corner. I've heard a bit about him. 4-star, 304th in the nation, 25th at the position, 6 foot, 195. Caleb Johnson, 6'7", 295, 320th in the nation, 23rd at the position, 4-star. That is the 4 stars that are enrolled at this current moment. There is multiple 3 stars though. Mitchell Evans, tight end, 3 star, 498th national, 23rd position. Ryan Barnes, corner, 561st in the nation, 44th position. Justin Waters, safety, 569th position, or national, 45th in the position, 3 star too. Devin Oupu. Now the rest of these are all 3 stars. 582nd national ranking and 36th position ranking. Will Schlitzer, I'm not even gonna go there on pronunciation. 583rd third in the nation, 37th at the position. And Ron Paulus III, not ranked national, 72nd at the position. That is the enrolled. Sadly, there's no New Yorkers. I know that's not really something to note, but I mean, I love when a New Yorker comes in, just because I have jokes up my sleeve for that. Guys who have signed the NLI or National Letters of Intent. Dion Coltsey, 4 star, 102nd nation, 16th position. Prince Coley, 4 star, 145th in the nation, 9th position. Audric Estimine, running back. That's really going to help, especially with the departures. 241st in the nation, 11th at the position. That's going to help with the departure of Jameer Smith. Jameer? One of the two. It's late. I'm tired. It's 10:30 when I'm recording this. Jaden Thomas, wide receiver, 305th in the nation, 51th position. So, and that's the last 4 star that was signed. This is interesting committed. This is interesting because there's some receiver and running back depth coming in, which they needed. There's corner depth coming in, which they need, which is departing. There's also some safety depth coming in they could use, some D-line depth they could use, and some tackle or some O-line depth they can use. So they're definitely bringing in guys that can produce or that can give some kind of production, which is nice to see. Next, you've got the rest of these are 3 stars. Kahiri Gee, safety, 28th at his position. Joe Alt, tackle, 31st at his position. Logan Diggs, running back, 28th at his position. Chance Tucker, a corner, 46th in his position. Kahanu Kia, outside linebacker, 39th at his position. Pat Cogan, 33rd at his position, offensive guard. Jason Onyi, a defensive end, at 38 at his position. And JoJo Johnson, an athlete, 51st in his position. It'll be interesting to see how they use the athlete. And Josh Bryan, kicker, 6th at his position. I'm pretty sure it's the same kicker that decommitted from a different college that got jacked. So that'll be interesting. There's nobody who hasn't signed the NLI yet that they have that's committed. So that means everybody's committed that's at least here yet. I guess they could go after somebody, but I don't know if they can right now. I think they're just set. I think they're set. Independent ranked 1st, they're national ranked 9th, and their average rating is a 0.8969. That's good. I like that. Looking at decommits. Alright, offers. Notre Dame still got offers on the table for... Is there anybody in this 2021 class? Right now they've got an offer out for Ron... I don't know if this is... I don't know if this is 2021. Yeah. They've got offers out for a lot of guys. I'm not seeing anybody right now that's not committed. I could be wrong. And all their offers are signed. Either by them or by another college. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how this class turns out. I like how they built it. I like what's there. But you never know. Especially with college football. I'm not going to talk about departures today either. I'll save that for when I talk about the draft and everything. Alright. I'm going to end this off with what Kelly's saying in 4-3 means. Now, this defense is now built to the 4-3. It was originally, when BK came in, built to the 3-4. This is going to be different, but I'm glad to see it stay in the 4-3. Honestly, I like the 4-3 better than the 3-4. And looking at how this defense is progressing, they probably could just stay in the 3-4 and call it a day, or 4-3 and call it a day. And it'd be interesting, especially with the guys they're bringing in. Because they're bringing in some receiver help, some running back depth. They're also bringing in some O-line, D-line, and corner depth, along with a linebacker or two and a safety or two. So that'll be interesting. And then there's also Jonathan Dewar. And I'll talk about this quick. Don't even know if he's coming back. I haven't heard much on the front at all anymore. I don't know if he's coming back. I don't think he is. He was thinking about it, I know it, but I think he's going to the draft, which kind of sucks to see him go. But a kicker is just coming in. And you've also got Salerno's brother. Got Matt Salerno's brother coming in as a preferred walk-on to play kicker. And Matt Salerno, he was a kick returner at one point in the season. He was doing kind of good. So, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Chris Salerno was a preferred walk-on coming in at kicker. So it'll be interesting to see him and the freshman battle it out, potentially. That's coming in. I don't know. It all depends. I think he'll do good. To Salerno, especially since he's got someone on the team already. But it'll be interesting. Anyways, this has been the Golden Dome episode 1. I'm glad to get this out. I really liked doing this first episode. There's a lot to talk about. I've got a lot more to talk about in the next one. I'll see you guys later.